There are massive rocks that have been teetering for thousands of years yet never fall. There are places where entire landscapes are filled with stone pillars as if born from another world. Think you've seen all the Earth's strange wonders? Think again. In this video, World Mystery Wonders invites you to discover the 15 most extraordinary rock formations on the planet, where nature becomes the greatest artist, sculpting not only breathtaking shapes, but also stories far beyond imagination. Get ready because what you're about to witness will leave you unable to look away. Lena Pillars, the legendary stone sentinels of Siberia. Along the icy banks of the Lena River in Siberia rise towering stone columns, standing like ancient guardians carved by time itself. This is Lena Pillars, a natural wonder so surreal it feels like the gateway to a mythical world made of rock. Geologists believe these formations date back to the early Cambrian period, over 540 million years ago, when life on Earth was just beginning to evolve in primitive oceans composed of limestone, dolomite, and shale. These rocks were sculpted vertically over millions of years by the combined forces of wind, frost, and glacial meltwaters, forming stone pillars towering up to 100 to 300 meters high. In winter, the scene turns almost otherworldly, as snow blankets the formations, and the pale Arctic sun casts soft shadows, transforming the area into a frozen cathedral of stone and silence. In summer, under the northern lights, the rocks glow with golden and amber hues, a living painting born from deep time. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2012, Lena Pillars is not just a geological marvel, it's a library of Earth's early life, preserving fossils of ancient organisms that once swam through primordial seas. A place where time is etched in stone, waiting to be read by those who dare to journey this far. White Desert, a surreal world of white stone in the heart of Egypt. Located about 500 kilometers southwest of Cairo, the White Desert was once the floor of an ancient sea rich in limestone and marine deposits. As the waters receded and the climate turned arid, wind and sand took over, carving the limestone into bizarre otherworldly shapes. Some resembled giant mushrooms, others looked like chickens, rabbits, or even cauliflower frozen in stone. In the daylight, the landscape glows in a brilliant white, while at sunset, the formations blush with hues of pink, orange, and gold. Many travelers choose to camp overnight among the rock sculptures, where under the moonlight the scene turns so dreamlike it feels as though you're sleeping on the surface of the moon. Today, the White Desert is a protected national park, valued not only for its geological significance, but also as one of the most breathtakingly unique places to witness nature's creativity in its purest, most unspoiled form. Galen Bay, nature's living watercolor painting. Nestled along the northeastern coast of Vietnam, Halong Bay emerges like a breathtaking watercolor masterpiece, where ancient limestone mountains rise from emerald waters, winding like a mythical dragon across the sea. With more than 1,600 islands and islets, each shaped by nature's whim, some resemble turtles, others lion heads, sails, or even sleeping giants. According to geologists, Halong Bay was formed over 280 million years through tectonic movements and long-term erosion. Rain, wind, and the ocean slowly carved the ancient limestone into towering cliffs, mysterious caves, and hidden lagoons inside the islands. Beyond its natural splendor, Halong Bay is also a cradle of early Vietnamese culture, with archaeological evidence of ancient human settlements dating back thousands of years. And if you've ever sailed quietly through the misty bay at sunrise, you'll understand why UNESCO declared it a World Natural Heritage Site. A wonder not just to behold, but to feel with every sense. Alula, the ancient stone city of the Arabian Desert. In the heart of the arid northwestern desert of Saudi Arabia, Alula rises like a forgotten world. A surreal landscape of towering rock formations sculpted by time, surrounded by the remains of an ancient civilization that once thrived in this harsh terrain. Geologically, Alula dates back more than 500 million years, dominated by sandstone cliffs and monoliths that have been sculpted by wind and sand erosion into arches, columns, and towering pillars with fantastical shapes. Among the most iconic is Elephant Rock, a massive stone resembling an elephant gently bowing its head beneath the desert sky. But Alula is not only a natural wonder, it is also home to the ruins of the Nabatean kingdom, contemporaries of Petra in Jordan. Dozens of tombs carved directly into cliffs, ancient inscriptions, and the remnants of old incense trade routes remain remarkably intact. whispering stories from over 2,000 years ago. Today, Alula has become a premier heritage and ecotourism destination, where visitors can hike through red sandstone canyons, stargaze under pristine desert skies, and witness the rare harmony between eternal nature and ancient human ingenuity. Druid's Altar, the stone table of time in the hills of Yorkshire. Nestled among the rolling green hills of West Yorkshire lies a mysterious cluster of massive sandstone blocks, stacked like a giant altar. This is the Druid's Altar, a place that seems to pause time, inviting visitors to wonder what stories these stones might tell. The name comes from local legend. People once believed this was a sacred site used by ancient Celtic druids for nature rituals and sacrifices. While there's no archaeological evidence to confirm these myths, the formation's awe-inspiring shape and isolation have fueled such stories for generations. Geologically, the rocks belong to the Millstone Grit Formation, laid down around 300 million years ago, when Yorkshire was a vast coastal plain. Over eons, erosion and weathering carved the thick sandstone into sharp-edged stacked blocks, forming what looks remarkably like a man-made altar, yet sculpted entirely by nature. Today, Druid's Altar is not just a place of legend, but a beloved destination for hikers, photographers, and nature lovers. Sitting atop the stones overlooking the Aire Valley below, one can't help but feel a sense of timelessness, as if the land itself is holding its breath and waiting for its next story to unfold. White Pocket, a swirling stone maze from another planet. Tucked away in the remote desert of Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, White Pocket emerges like a dream in stone. A surreal landscape of swirling patterns and fiery waves of color painted in white, red, pink, and orange. Standing here, it feels like you've stepped onto another planet. White Pocket is formed from ancient Navajo sandstone laid down around 190 million years ago, when the area was once covered in massive sand dunes. Over millions of years, geologic forces compressed, twisted, and folded these layers, turning them to stone. Then, wind, rain, and scorching desert sun slowly eroded the surface, revealing the extraordinary sculpted patterns we see today. Unlike nearby the Wave, White Pocket requires no permit, but it's incredibly remote and only accessible by high-clearance four-wheel drive vehicles. This isolation has helped preserve its raw, untouched beauty far from the crowds. At sunrise or sunset, as light dances across the twisted formations, White Pocket becomes a dream for photographers, where every angle reveals a masterpiece carved by nature. Both unreal and astonishingly real. Incredible, isn't it? Every swirl and ripple in the rocks of White Pocket seems to tell the story of Earth's restless movement over millions of years. Standing in this surreal landscape, you might feel as though you've stepped onto another planet. But don't look away just yet. The wonders coming up next will leave you even more amazed. Mono Lake, a salt lake of stone towers and timeless mystery. On the edge of California's arid high desert lies a surreal sight. A vast, salty lake scattered with towering limestone formations that rise from the water like the ruins of a sunken city. This is Mono Lake, one of the oldest lakes in North America, where time and chemistry have sculpted a landscape almost too strange to believe. Formed over 760,000 years ago after a massive volcanic eruption, Mono Lake has no outlet. Water only leaves through evaporation. As a result, the lake's salinity is 3 times that of the ocean. But its most striking feature is the tufa towers. Limestone spires formed when underground springs rich in calcium met the carbonate-filled lake water, triggering a reaction that created calcium carbonate, limestone, which slowly built up into towers beneath the surface. When water from the lake was diverted in the 20th century to supply Los Angeles, the water level dropped, revealing these once hidden towers in full. Some stand over 30 feet tall, their twisted shapes looking like natural sculptures from another world. Despite its extreme conditions, Mono Lake is a thriving ecosystem, home to millions of migratory birds, supported by tiny brine shrimp and alkali flies that somehow flourish in the lake's salty alkaline waters.